I'm Tim, welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. Today we're discussing the Breitling for Bentley B06 Special Edition. You can see this automotive-inspired 30-second chronograph, more on that in a moment, on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos, and click on the card in the upper right-hand corner of the screen at any time during this video to see our full sales listing for this watch, with additional accessories included in the sale, high-resolution images for your desktop, and naturally full pricing details for this Breitling for Bentley B06. Now, it's worth mentioning that though the Breitling for Bentley phenomenon is a modern one, effectively in place since 2002, the 49mm case you see here is not a product of modern oversized watch fashion sensibility. No, in fact, this case and the tooling to make it dates back to the late 1960s when it was the foundation of what was then known as the Big Navitimer family. So although the watch is large, its case shape, dimensions, and the differential gearing for the calculator bezel are rooted deeply in Breitling's aviation history, so you're getting the best of both worlds, wings and wheels. Now, on my wrist, 6 1/3 inches, 16 centimeters in circumference, you can see that this watch is simply huge. 49mm across the round of the case from 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock, doesn't include the crown guards, chronograph pushers, or the crown. Now, in terms of thickness, the watch is about 16mm thick, but it wears a relatively thin 16 with a sloped bezel and a stepped case flank. It's not incredibly difficult to get a tighter or formal cuff up and over this watch, although the tightest will get hung up. Now, from lug to lug, the watch is actually fairly reasonable. For a 49mm case, 55mm lug to lug is hardly overbearing. In terms of weight, the watch has tremendous heft on the wrist. Now you can see that the bracelet is all substantial steel links, slash cut, all solid. This is what's known as the Breitling for Bentley Speed 2 bracelet. A couple of distinctions here. The Speed 2 actually says Breitling for Bentley on it, and it features an additional refinement internally. I picked a terrible day to cut my nails, as you can see. But the micro adjust built into this bracelet is actually like a more substantial and more robust version of the Rolex Easy Link. Now you can see two incremental adjustments, so you can actually take this in and out 5mm or 10mm, depending on your preference, activity, inactivity, hot or cold weather. The bracelet's beautifully built with all of the removable links held by screws, not pins and sleeves. So well built and cleverly designed, the Speed 2 bracelet is up to the task of retaining this monstrosity on your wrist. If you're going to go Bentley, go big, and this watch certainly does, but with the hardware to keep it fixed in place. Like a Bentley Super Sports cornering on the skid pad, this one simply grips. All of high polish. The watch is dramatic, and you can see that the knurling of the bezel emulates the grille patterns of modern Bentley cars, and you can see that cross-hatching on the black dial as well. The pattern repeats, and it's set within a tritone motif that's deeply rooted in motorsports chronographs. That combination of black and white or silver with red shocks simply belongs on a motorsports watch. It's never out of place, and it's perfectly selected for this watch, created in the modern era of Breitling, Bentley, and of course the Bentley Motorsports program in GT and prototypes. Since 2002, Bentley's had a rather remarkable racing record, adding to its exploits from the 20s and 30s, so the Breitling for Bentley family correctly echoes that modern heritage. But speaking of heritage, you'll note the high rate of the chronograph seconds hand at center. This actually harks back once again to the 1920s. We were just speaking of the halcyon days of Bentley racing back in the 20s. So too were they for Breitling chronograph development. And what you're looking at is a chronograph seconds hand that moves at double speed. So this 1926 patent allows the chronograph to move at double speed and make one circuit of the dial every 30 seconds. That makes it easier to read the individual beats of the chronograph movement, since this is a 28,800 vibration per hour chronograph. That's 8 beats per second, or 4 hertz, and it's easier to read fractions of a second when a faster chronograph seconds hand spreads those 8 beats over the physical space of 2 seconds on the dial, rather than trying to visually break down 8 beats within the space of 1 second. This one gives you twice as much geography to read, thereby making it a more practical chronograph. Now, of course, the watch has a Breitling B06 caliber, remarkably, because this is hardly the rule at Breitling. This one has a display case back. Now, some folks have never seen a display case back Breitling in person, and that's because they are extremely scarce. Here you can see the winding mass has actually been designed to emulate the look of a high-performance Bentley road-going wheel. You can see the spokes, you can see the center bolts, and the Bentley Flying Bee logo. And then beneath, the 47-joule automatic winding in-house caliber B06 with a 70-hour or nearly 3-day power reserve, a smooth vertical clutch engagement, which I'll show you to good advantage here. You can see how it simply starts without jump, stops without stagger, always resets to the index at 12. Because it's a vertical clutch, you can simply leave it running if you like to have a center seconds display rather than reading a subdial. Of course, superior power reserve. It also has COSC chronometer certification, so it has long duration, but it's also exceptionally accurate. And because the watch does have a screw-down crown, and it is braced against the depths up to basically 100 meters, or approximately 330 feet, just a bit less than that. You can actually take this motorsport-inspired watch powerboat racing as well. Now, of course, the watch features a column wheel function selector, so you can hear and you can feel the crisp sensation of actuating a traditionally designed chronograph architecture. No cams here, no lateral clutches. The architecture is traditional in the column wheel and modern in the vertical clutch. Of course, it also features hacking seconds. When you pull the crown, you stop the balance, you can synchronize to a reference time, and it features a quick set so you can rapidly cycle and correct the date if you need to. Naturally, it is still, in the spirit of those Big Navitimers from the 60s, equipped with a differential geared internal rotating slide rule mechanical calculator. So this is a upgraded version of the conventional Navitimer bezel, albeit calibrated specifically for motorsports applications. A small tutorial comes with the watch when you purchase it. You can see and you can purchase this extraordinary Breitling for Bentley B06 Manufacturer Movement Special Edition on our website.